Sides TV, and I'm Faribos Puya. Welcome back. We're debating the issue of Sharia and the introduction of Sharia in Britain. In the previous section, we looked at the campaign and the issue of mediation and voluntary nature of, supposedly voluntary nature of the Sharia law. Let me continue our discussion with asking Mariam. People argue this is a problem with Islam. This is a problem with Islam. This is the essence of Islam. Islam can't be reformed. People who've actually come over, they brought the religion with them to resolve this issue. Send them where they've come from. Send them back. What's your response?
Well, I mean, these are two issues. One is on the issue of send people back. Well, no, thank you. We're here and we're staying here. And whether you like what people think or not, they're part and parcel of this society. In the same way that you despise Dr. Shipman or whatever, different criminals, elements in Britain, or the British National Party, you can't just ship them off to another country, and you just have to deal with it and address it here. So, but also it sort of implies that people who are so-called Muslims, or those of us coming from Pakistan and Iran and Afghanistan and Iraq, we're all, these hordes of Islamists who are bringing Sharia law in. Whereas in fact, a lot of these people have actually fled political Islam, are resisting it, and often at the front lines of resisting it. And they're not all Muslims. And even if so, they don't want Sharia law. But there are different people and different beliefs in society, as there is in Britain. There are atheists, humanists, secularists, the left, socialists, and so on and so forth. And so in that sense, that's a bogus argument. It's the argument of the right wing that wants to promote its anti-immigrant policies, and we're here to say we won't tolerate that either. But I want to go back to the issue of Islam.
Part of your campaign is actually, this campaign is to show that to fight against the Sharia Islamic court is everybody's responsibility.
It is everybody's responsibility.
And it's not a race or immigration issue.
No, not at all. And there are a lot of people who consider themselves Muslims, as well as who are from Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan, who are communists and left and atheists and humanists, who have joined this campaign, as well as many others. And so it's something we all need to work together in order to push back. But on the issue of, if this is an issue of Islam itself, I mean, my point is, I think some of the right wing especially, they focus on Islam itself and say it's not even a religion, it's a death cult. And I've seen ridiculous petitions to ban Islam or to ban the Quran. Geert Wilders is one of the people who've been advocating this sort of thing. And my point is that you can find misogyny and homophobia and inhumanity in every religion. The reason we're focusing on Islam is because it's the banner of a political movement. And in that sense, that's where its importance lies. But if you sit down and just discuss Islam, it becomes a theological debate. And we need to focus on the political movement and pushing back that political movement.
But is it not right when, yes, of course, it becomes the issue of a political movement, but is it not right to actually refer to the book and the sources of all the argument and criticize that as part of his campaign as well? Baram Surush.
To refer to the Quran, for example. Yeah. Well, of course, when you are talking about Sharia, you're talking about Islam, you're talking about religion, and this campaign, obviously, it clearly says that it's against all religious laws. It's against any court system based on religion. So it's very clear on that. But again, it's not a campaign, like, for example, in order to criticize a particular religion in itself. The campaigners, as Mariam stated as well, this campaign believes in people's right to any belief system, including religion, atheism, whatever they would like to believe in. This campaign is targeting, in this particular issue, the legal use of Sharia to govern people's lives, to govern family laws, civil matters, many other issues, which these courts are practicing and they're doing. It's a rights issue. You see, we are opposed to all religions or any belief system to the degree that it contravenes people's rights. It breaches people's rights. The reference point, the point of departure, is to, if whatever it is, if it's religion, it's fascism or whatever it is, if it violates people's right to equality, to civil liberties, or whatever it, the basic fundamental rights of, that people have won over the years, then we are against it. That is why we are against Sharia law, because it's a discriminatory, extremely violent, repressive, reactionary system of belief system, which is fine if somebody wants to believe in it. It's fine if they keep it to themselves as a personal thing. But it becomes a problem when they act on it and they want to involve other people. Even if they want to, for example, if somebody, for example, wants to commit suicide, and along with that, they want to take their children and commit suicide, some cults, they want to do that. Society intervenes. We won't accept that. This campaign is saying that we have rights, and you can't, on the basis that's saying that religion is something sacred, so that is a sphere which is fine. It's off limits. We can't go there, and they can do whatever they like. No, we can't accept that.
An example of this would be, for example, with Christianity during the Inquisition. The Enlightenment didn't ban the Bible. It pushed religion into the private sphere so that people have a right to their beliefs, but when it's part of the state, part of the law, part of the education system, it's a different matter. And I think that's why we need to focus on the political Islamic movement more than the tenets of Islam, because that's not really going to get us anywhere.
Iftikhar Ahmad from London School of Islamics has written to us, and he's actually said the Jews, that's how Islamists refer to Jewish people. The Jews throughout the Western world have their own religion. Christians have been enjoying the right to be married in church. Muslims should have the same right to get married in masjid, as well as they need Sharia courts dealing in marriage, civil matters and divorce. What's your response to that, Mariam?
Well, I mean, I think the Islamists often use this issue of equality, basically. They say we need to have equality because there are 5,000 Church of England schools, we need 5,000 Islamic schools, and so on and so forth. What we have to remind them is that equality, rights, and so on and so forth are for people. They're not for religions, and especially not for Sharia courts and Islamic schools, and so on and so forth. So if there are Beth Dins, we need to work against them as well. We don't want religious-based laws for anyone.
But you focused on the Islamic Sharia court, and many people on the left say this is Islamophobia.
Well, it's funny because focusing on Sharia law is a defense of particularly Muslim women's rights and children's rights. So, are you upset that we're focusing on Muslim women's rights? I mean, that's the funny part. Yes, we need to focus on people's rights in general, but again, the point is that criticizing Sharia law has nothing to do with racism, and I think, I'm not sure how many times we're going to need to say it until it gets through people's heads.
Bahram Suresh, final word. 30 seconds.
Okay, this campaign and the people who have formed this campaign, Mariam, myself, or everyone else, we are against faith schools as well. We are against the term, for example, Muslim children. We don't believe that children should have any religion or anything like that. So it's a campaign which is, in its fundamental tenets, is against any insertion of religion into the public sphere, into people's lives.
Thank you, Bahram. We're running out of time. This is Secular Society TV. You've been watching the debate regarding Sharia court, introduction of Sharia court, and the campaign for one equal rights in Britain. Please join our campaign. Join One Law for All. On 7th of March, Trafalgar Square at 2 o'clock. 3:30 in the afternoon on 7th of March. There's a demonstration, and then later on in Conway Hall on the same day there's a public meeting to debate and discuss the campaign. Thank you very much for watching the program, and if you have any question or comment about the content of the discussion we've had today, please do write to us. You'll have the details on the screen. You can always write to me, faribors_puya@yahoo.co.uk. We'll respond to your questions. Thank you.